Well, good afternoon, everyone. I started a little early because I was talking to Angel P, and she said they have some kind of breaking news in the Nancy Guthrie case. And I am like, whoa, I don't know if I want to hear it or not, but I do. But I have to give respect to this case because I cannot believe what Spring Weems went through. Anyone ever had a difficult child? A child that you're just wringing your hands and you don't know what to do. Spring, single mom, great job, a lot of things going for her. Beautiful home in Edmond, Oklahoma. Beautiful home in Edmond, Oklahoma. I think things like worth $340,000, which is like $1 million in other places. Okay, because I think we're like the lowest in everything here in Oklahoma. Her son Cole, who has been charged as an adult, so I can use his name, was having thoughts of unaliving himself and homicidal tendencies. So like any good mother would do, she had him hospitalized. Okay. He gets home, things are going well, and then him and the other child that, like I said, she's adopted too. Well, look at that. Susie Akers said, Pauls Valley here. What's up? Pauls Valley represent. They got into some trouble with the police, and Spring Weems decided to give them a punishment and basically say, no electronics, and you're only going to have an orange and I think some bread and beans for dinner. Because if you mess with the police, that's what you're going to get if you go to jail. All right. So Cole, the one that has been hospitalized, as she was coming out of the laundry room, he was waiting for her with a hammer. A hammer. He hit her right between the eyes. Before I get to the rest of it, let's tell everybody hello and welcome back to the chat. Almost had to take a nap after that last one. Two Boston moms said, Brooks, have you watched Hers on Netflix? Yes, girl, I binged it one day, and I thought it was one of the craziest shows I've ever watched in my life. And there's so much I want to say, but for people who haven't seen it, what I want to like spew out of my mouth right now would spoil the whole thing. You have to watch every bit of it. PG little girl, what's up? What's up? Boston, how old is he? 16. And Oklahoma is charging him as an adult. So let's go back just a little bit. And then we're going to talk about the court documents, which are gruesome and they're horrible. Because this beating with the hammer left her unrecognizable to the point that OU Medical Science had to get involved because it didn't even look like a human. Okay? Walking Dead had a nooner today. She's putting clean sheets on at the moment. Now, Walking Dead, please don't be advertising things like that. Okay? You know, if you want to get all horny at the lunch break, fine by me, but we don't have to go around telling everybody. My goodness, what's next? You going to be writing letters to Ernie in jail? Woo! Two Boston moms, and I never do that. Who has time for that shit? I will make time when something's that good. By the way, season 2 of Hunting Wives is coming out. Tell you what, I could have an entire show just talking shit about Netflix. I'm telling you, when I get into a series, phone is off. All right, here we go. This is going on in Oklahoma. And hello, Tropicana. Mopar Dad. What's a Mopar? Said Ernest/Cole done it. Now, he's not part of this, but let's get to it. Trust me, it's disgusting.
That breaking news tonight, a woman found dead in a trash can in North Edmond in Logan County.
This is near Simmons and Bryant. Our KOCO's Jason Berger is live there right now. Jason, what are officials telling you on scene?
Okay. This guy needs a different haircut. Okay. He needs a totally different haircut. And it's not a good look to do the show outside next to a trash can. Jason Berger, please get a new haircut. Just grow that shit out a little bit. Maybe flip it over a little bit. I don't know.
Well, guys, I have been in contact with the Logan County Sheriff's Office, but just looking around at some of the neighbors' faces out here in this area, they look absolutely stunned by the whole situation. The county sheriff's office has told me the victim is a woman in her 40s. And like you guys said, she was found in a trash can outside a home. Where we are right now is near Bryant and Simmons here in Logan County. The home in question is actually on Treviso Trail.
Gorgeous area, gorgeous neighborhood. Here she is. Selfless woman. Okay. She's not out raw dogging it at noon like Walking Dead and changing her sheets and bragging to everybody about it. No, she's working her ass off, and she adopts 2 teenage boys, and one of them kills her and puts her in a trash can. And then bragged about it.
I can go ahead and tell you what the county sheriff's office is saying right now. This call came in around 2 p.m. It was a fight in progress between 2 siblings. Officers were told there could be a deceased woman in a trash can on the property, and they did find that victim in a trash can outdoors. The death is considered suspicious right now. Law enforcement don't know what led up to all this, but they did tell me that it is a domestic incident. They believe everyone involved has been
There was a well-check visit because the 2 kids were fighting and somebody heard it. This is a very nice neighborhood. By the way, Walking Dead said, Brooks, I ain't doing all that. Let me ask everybody in chat, do you think that's the reason that Walking Dead came in bragging about changing her sheets and putting clean ones on? Okay. All right. Let's go ahead. What's your answer? At least you changed in Walking Dead. Your secret's safe with me and the other 39 people in here. Okay, so they have a well-check visit about the 2 kids fighting. I think 16 and 15, 16 and 14. And they come over and they start asking about the mom. Where is your mom? Where is Spring Weems? And you want to see her Facebook page. She did everything for these kids. She did everything for these kids. I'm talking, the in-ground pool and everything. They're out there. They look like the damn Menendez brothers of Oklahoma. They're sunning themselves, not mowing the lawn, nothing. And then the 16-year-old, who, by the way, is being charged as an adult, that just broke this morning, beat her with a hammer.
Now, there seems to be a little bit of confusion on who the woman is in this situation and their connection to the two juveniles that were involved. We're still working to get more information on that, but I can tell you the two juveniles are teens. And like I said, this does appear to be an isolated incident for now, and they have everyone in custody. The investigation is ongoing, and OSBI is here at the scene while this all unfolds. We'll continue to follow it, of course, here in Logan County. We'll send things back to you guys. In Logan County, Jason Berger, KOCO 5 News.
Okay, do something about that hair. This is horrible. I'm telling you, this is horrible. So they said they had people in custody. So we're thinking, when we hear on the local news, someone broke in, they had to have robbed the place. I mean, I don't know. You just don't immediately think that the kids went crazy.
Evan, really a tragedy here. We now know that the victim in this case is 49-year-old Spring Weems. She was found dead inside of a trash can outside of her Logan County home. And now we know the accused killer was her adopted son.
We're talking about a woman who lost her life in just a brutal way.
This was the scene KOCO brought to you Wednesday afternoon in Logan County near Bryant and Simmons Road. It started as a welfare check when family members hadn't heard from 49-year-old Spring Weems.
When the 911 call was made for that welfare check, whenever deputies showed up to the house, that there were only those two teens who were there.
So when the 911 call was made and they go to the house, only those two teens were there. Now, each were arrested. One has been released. Who is raising the other teen? I don't know. I have no idea. And I really don't know what family member would feel safe with that teen. Because like I said, I mean, they're playing like the Menendez brothers of Oklahoma. And it is disgusting. And then that's when the older teen spouted out, she's in the trash can. Just like that. She's in the trash can. No ifs, ands, or buts. No, she's at the store. She's at work. Oh, we were just roughhousing. Nothing like that. She's in the trash can. Why? Why? Because she told them both, if you F-A, you're going to F-O, and I'm the F-O. So you are going to stay in your rooms. You have no electronics. You have no nothing. Well, guess what they were doing when they got there? They had all their shit back. They had all the game boxes. They had all the cell phones. They had the run of the house. Refrigerator door left open because it's easier to go get all the grub. It is disgusting, my friends.
That there were only those two teens who were there.
Investigators searched the property and tried piecing together stories from each teen.
When deputies continued to talk with them and learn more about maybe what had occurred, they were able to basically piece together that the woman was not there. When they looked for her, they found her in that trash can in front of the property.
Deputies arrested Weems' adopted teenage son in connection to her murder. They couldn't say how she was killed, only that her body was found in a trash can. They also couldn't say how long she had been there.
We're not going to go into specifics with the injuries right now, but we can say that that is still part of our process. And so when we learn a little bit more from the medical examiner's office, we will provide that to you guys.
Investigators did confirm both teens lived in the home with Weems.
This is just a terrible case. Nobody deserves to die as this woman did. And so this is extremely sad.
And we now know that teenager is in the Canadian County Juvenile Facility on a first-degree murder complaint.
No, they conducted their investigation. Okay, so remember, two teens in the house. One got sent to Canadian County because that's the nearest juvenile detention facility from Logan County. I don't know where he's going to go after this because as of this morning, he was ruled an adult, and so he will have to stand trial. At the age of 16, even in the state of Oklahoma, they won't give him the death penalty, but he'll be away forever. The other teen was arrested, but they figured out that that teen didn't do it. And they didn't just take his word for it. I think the hammer spoke volumes. As far as how long she was missing, I can't say it was that long. I mean, for one, she was never reported missing. And when they were just like, oh, she's not here, she's not here, she's not here, she's not here. I don't think it took them too long to find her, especially with the 16-year-old going, she's in the trash can. I mean, he's loud and proud about what he did. He's loud and proud. Now, if the other teen denied anything, he would be in big trouble. It seems to me that he cooperated with the 16-year-old said. When the 16-year-old said that this is what happened, I think he cooperated it. It is just disgusting. I mean, just disgusting. All right, so this is the latest that came out today. On January 28th, 2026, the body of 49-year-old Spring Weems was found in the dumpster at a Logan County home. Now, they're calling it a dumpster. It's really like a rollaway. Everyone has them. Okay, so it's not like a dumpster. It's not like, like what Leilani put. So that's another question. How did they stuff her in there? Her adoptive 16-year-old Jordan Weems was later arrested on a first-degree murder complaint. News 9 is naming Jordan because he has now been charged as an adult. Neither the Youthful Offender Act nor the Juvenile Code applies to him because he is 16 years old and he has been charged with first-degree murder. Court documents show that Jordan lived in the home with his adoptive brother, Spring, and siblings, TW and AW. Both siblings are not named because they are minors. I assume there was two. Looks like there was another one. According to an affidavit, Jordan and his sibling TW recently got in trouble for sneaking out of the family's home and running from law enforcement. No bueno. You don't do that. All you have to say is, what can I do for you, officer? Well, why do you have a Nerf gun? Oh, we're just messing around. You kids need to get back home. The disrespect for law and order and what some of these kids are exposed to, they really kind of have it in their minds. If this one can get away with it, I can too. But it's all fun and games until you're in jail forever and a day. So as punishment, the two had to write letters to the police and anyone else that their actions affected, and they had to apologize. Isn't she a meanie? Isn't she a meanie? Well, hello, B. Harley. Isn't she a meanie? You're going to stay in your rooms and you are going to write letters of apology to the police. Really? Their mother, Spring, locked Jordan's bedding and clothing in her room as punishment. She also made him wear an orange jumpsuit, according to the court documents, to show what life as a prisoner might look like if he did not start behaving. Jordan also had to eat prison food, like ham and beans and chicken and beans. She actually gave him better food than they have in prison, so he knows what prison food's about now. When questioned by authorities, TW said several times over the days before the murder, Jordan mentioned that he was going to kill their mother. That in itself is a reason to put TW somewhere away from society, because he did nothing to tell anyone at school, neighbor, his own mother, that crazy ass Jordan, who's already been hospitalized and above and beyond, is planning to kill you. When questioned by authorities, again, TW said several times over the days before the murder, Jordan mentioned that he was going to kill their mother. Authorities said on January 27th, another sibling, AW, returned home after staying with friends during a snowstorm. AW asked Jordan and TW where Spring was, and Jordan told him she was away helping their older sibling with her new baby. Whoa. On the 28th, AW called Levi, who was his father and Spring's ex-husband, concerned about his mother. At the time, Spring's car was at home, her bedroom door was locked, and she had not answered her phone. The sibling who Jordan told AW Spring was with said she had not seen her. Levi and Spring divorced 8 years ago, but still shared custody of their minor children. Levi went to the home and called the Logan County Sheriff's Office to report Spring missing. This is the ex-husband. Officials said that when deputies left, Levi and AW talked to TW alone because he seemed scared. TW then told the two that Jordan had killed Spring with a hammer and she was in the trash can on the street. OSBI was called to assist after Spring's body was discovered. Then on the evening of the 28th, Jordan was interviewed by the Logan County Sheriff's Department and read his Miranda rights. Also in the court documents, Jordan admitted to killing Spring with a hammer that he got in the garage. Investigators said he told them he stood in the hall between the laundry room and the kitchen. He waited for his mother to come out of the kitchen and then struck her in the head. He said he then placed her body in the trash can and rolled it to the curb. Jordan faces 1 count of first-degree murder, 1 count of desecration of a human corpse, and 1 count of unauthorized removal of a dead body. Held without bond, and the next time he sees the judge is the 24th. This is one sick-ass kid. This is one sick-ass kid. Well, now he's an adult. You know what? Now he's an adult.
Mother murdered and her body found in a trash can. It was breaking news. We were bringing you this time yesterday.
The suspect, her adopted teenage son.
A mother found inside a trash can, outside her own home. And the person who put her there? Her 16-year-old son. How did we get here? Logan County, Oklahoma. A quiet stretch of land where most people know their neighbors by name. Where life moves slow and drama stays. Logan County. Person who put her there? Her 16.
Now, she had been trying to get him help. He's been hospitalized several times. He goes by the name Cole, Jordan Cole. I don't know exactly who got him all the neck tats and things like that. It seems like a lot is going on, and I don't care who has a neck tat or who doesn't, but someone's got to pay for it. And it just seems like nothing was enough for these children that have been adopted. You must be kidding me. You must be kidding me. He don't have no job. Matter of fact, she put him in County Orange and told him, no, you're going to stay in your room. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. Because if you want to act like a hoodlum, then you're going to eat like him and you're going to be confined. She took his pillow. She took his blankets. She took his sheet. So he's just laying on a flat mattress.
Year-old son. How did we get here? Logan County, Oklahoma. A quiet stretch of land where most people know their neighbors by name. Where life moves slow and drama stays out of sight. That is where Spring Weems lived. And that is where she died. Damn. You're watching Shadowed Crimes TV. We tell the stories that need to be told. Domestic violence, toxic relationships, and the lives lost behind closed doors. No sugarcoating, no excuses, just the truth. If you're new here, subscribe and join us as we shed light on shadowed stories.
Hell hotter.
Hell hotter.
Hell hotter saved my heart.
El Lotto saved my heart.
Spring Weems was 49 years old, a mother, not just to her own children. She opened her heart and her home to a son she adopted, Jordan Weems, 16 years old, a freshman in high school. On paper, this was a family doing its best to hold things together. And for a while, it seemed like they were. Spring shared custody of the children with their father. The household had structure. There were kids under one roof, a mom trying to keep them on the right path, and life going on the way it does in a lot of homes across this country. Spring was doing what mothers do. She was showing up, but Jordan was not making it easy. He started sneaking.
You know, I just can't imagine what was going through her mind when he's coming after her with a freaking hammer. And TW had to have been scared shitless hearing that go on. He had to have been. It had to have been like blood-curdling screams. I'll come back to that. Let me give you just a little glimpse of... Okay, here's her Facebook page. There she is. Yeah, again. Ha! I could have been friends with her. She said, wow, that was rather inappropriate. Let's be friends. Moved here from Pueblo, Colorado. Doesn't really post a lot. But if you look at the photos, these children are very well taken care of. And yes, these are public. And of course, people are having to leave comments. I don't understand why. Okay, look at this lady. Seriously, y'all are being highly inappropriate. Well, a woman was clubbed and put in a trash can. Somebody went to OSU. Very involved in her children's school. I don't know who the hell that is. Oh, look at her puppy dog. And look, above her mantle, it says mom. Trying to find the picture where the kids are just like lounging around the pool and you see her in the back. Big wrestling mom and stuff like that. She didn't deserve this. He had zero emotion, zero empathy. Maybe, I mean, some people will speculate that he felt like he was an outsider because he was adopted. I would just go as far as to say that he was actually more special because he was adopted, because let's face it, he got the most attention, and to be quite honest, from what I've heard, he got the most stuff. Not that stuff counts, but you get my drift.
Sneaking out of the house at night. Not once, not twice. This became a pattern. And when law enforcement got involved, when he started running from police, that is when things in that house began to shift. Oh, so now the situation is bigger than just a teenager testing boundaries. Now it is a safety issue.
Okay, here's one of the pool pictures, because I started noticing a change in a lot of these pictures. So we go from looking like a prepubescent boy to suddenly we got all kinds of stuff going on with our hair. We got tattoos. And then you start getting from these pictures a little sense of entitlement, which, I mean, every child's entitled and they should be, but not to the point when you are grounded for FA with the police and your mom's like, no, you're going to wear this jumpsuit. And if you want to go to jail, I'm going to show you what it's like. And we're going to do it here. Easier to do it here than you to do it out there. Now, some would ask, why was the other child not punished? The court documents did not say they're only talking about Jordan because he is the one that is in jail for first-degree murder.
Issue. A legal issue. And Spring, she felt every bit of that weight. So Spring decided to do something about it. She was not going to sit back and watch her son destroy his own life. She wanted him to understand what was waiting for him if he kept going down that road. She took his clothes, she took his bedding, she made him wear an orange jumpsuit, the kind inmates wear, and his meals, ham and beans, chicken and beans, nothing fancy, nothing comfortable. She was trying to show him.
He should have gotten the Ernie lunch. You know what I mean? White bread, bologna on Thursdays, a slice of an orange, and then that's it. Listen, I'll eat ham and beans any effing day, okay? No way. If I knew that people in jail ate ham and beans every day, well, then I wouldn't have been so damn conservative with my life. I love ham and beans.
Right here in their own home, what a life behind bars actually looks like. Now, you can sit here and debate whether that was the right call. People will have opinions on that. But here is what matters. Spring Weems was not trying to hurt her son. She was terrified for him. She saw where he was headed and she tried to stop it. That is what she was doing. That was her goal.
Does anyone in here, because I already know what the defense is going to be. I already know because he's 16. Okay. He's already been to the hospital a couple of times for unaliving tendencies and homicidal tendencies. And I guess what broke that camel's back was him being told after the police complained about what he was doing. It's gonna come down to mental illness and some kind of mental illness brought on from child abuse. We're gonna see another Menendez defense. I had to do it because of the way she was treating us. Now, let me ask you, do you think, just based on what you've heard, that Spring was out of order by saying, okay, you want to keep getting in trouble? You really want to mess with the police? Then let me show you what jail's like, but we're going to do it here. I personally don't see anything wrong with it, but that's how this is going to roll out. Will it stick with an Oklahoma jury? No. No, that's not going to work. Adoption's going to come into it. They're going to bring up who his biological mother, maybe father are. There's going to be a lot of complexities to this. Either way, I don't think a jury's going to buy it. Because when I saw that on KOTV Channel 6, and they said it was unrecognizable that it was even a human being. Like what was in that rollout, well, basically looked like chopped meat. So even when she was dead, he didn't stop.
But it did not land the way she hoped. See, instead of Jordan stepping back and taking that lesson to heart, something else happened inside that boy. The punishment did not scare him straight. It made him angry. And angry teenagers in a house full of tension. That is a dangerous combination. Let me tell you something. What came next, nobody in that family saw coming. Not really, because Jordan did not keep his feelings bottled up. He did not sit in his room and stew in silence. No, he went to one of his siblings, looked them in the eye, and told them exactly what he was thinking. He said he was going to kill their mother. Just like that, out loud. No.
Does anyone think that the sibling should be charged? Because Jordan, they call him Cole, but we know in the court documents it's Jordan Weems. Since he told his sibling, TW, that he planned to kill her, do you think he should be charged? I have a feeling they're not going to, because they need him as a cooperating witness to this. I still say he needs a lesson too. He needs a lesson too, okay? Because he knows how to get a hold of his dad, Levi. Obviously knows how to follow Jordan around and mess with the police and things that they know they're not supposed to do. So if they've already been talked to about don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, someone wonder if he's in on it, or maybe if he encouraged it. But they said he was very scared and shaken when the police got there. What is his age? TW? I think I read he's like 14, almost 15. He definitely, I will say this, he needs extensive cognitive behavioral therapy. Maybe a few hospital stays to get him right in his mind.
No hesitation. Oh, so now we are here. A 16-year-old boy standing in his own home, telling his own sibling he plans to end his mother's life. And the thing that hits hardest? The warning was right there. It was in the open. Someone in that house heard it. And Spring Weems is still dead. The threat Jordan made to his sibling was not empty talk. It was not just words a frustrated teenager threw out in the heat of a moment. He meant it.
Now, I'm not going to be surprised when he takes a stand. Now, in Oklahoma, we don't get to see the court hearings. You can go in person, but they're not going to put them on court TV, law and crime. They're not going to do any of that. They have a bill in the House right now to get it done. I don't think anybody really wants to see their podunk shit, but they might. I almost wonder if TW didn't say anything because he was afraid Jordan was going to kill him too. Because we have to remember there's been a lot of issues with Jordan to the point that he had to be hospitalized. He was taken out of the home to get him help. And he was brought back in and everything was fine. So there's been a lot of violence going on from Jordan. And I'm sure Spring was like, you want to act like that? Fine, you're going to put on this orange jumpsuit and here you go. Here's your beans and ham and you're going to sit back there. You're just going to lay on that mattress. You're not going to play that game box. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. I don't think she just sat there and said, now we're going to pray about your behavior. And in the meantime, I'm going to treat you like you're in prison. Don't work that way. So that's one thing that's been crossing my mind. Was TW also threatened?
And not long after he said it, he followed through. Spring Weems was killed by her own adopted son. Jordan used a hammer. That is how he took her life. In her own home. The place where she raised him. The place where she tried, in her own way, to keep him safe. And when it was done, he did not call for help. He did not break down. He did not sit with what he had just done and let the weight of it hit him. No, he took his mother's body and he put it in a trash can, outside the house, like she was something to be thrown away. Wow, that is where we are right now in this story. A woman who gave that boy a home, who adopted him, and this is how her life ended. It don't make no sense. Now, here is the part that makes this even harder to sit with. Spring was not alone in that.
The hell is Dawn Wells narrating this? It don't make no sense. It doesn't make sense. There, I fix it for you, Donetta Wells.
That house. There were other children there. And when they started, noticing she was gone, Jordan had an answer ready. He told his siblings she left a note, said she had gone to help their sister with her new baby. Calm, collected, no signs of panic, no guilt showing on the outside. He had already thought about how to cover what he did. And for a little while, it worked. The siblings did not suspect a thing. Not at first. But something did not sit right. Kids know their mom. They know her routines. They know when something feels off. And as the hours passed without Spring coming home or checking in, the suspicion started to grow inside that house. Quietly.
But they both knew that A.W., the younger brother, was over at Levi's. The father, who's been divorced from Spring for 8 years. They knew eventually A.W. is going to come home and ask, where's mom? And that's exactly what happened, according to the court documents, because A.W. comes in and says, where's mom? And then calls Levi. And A.W. is lied to and said she went to visit the older sibling who just had a baby. We already know none of that happened for obvious reasons. Spring is dead. She was found in the rollout, and the older sibling never saw her.
Slowly, but it was there. The siblings did what they could. They reached out to their father, the man who shared custody of the children. And once he heard what was going on, a welfare check was requested. Logan County Sheriff's Office responded. Deputies showed up at the house to check on Spring. But here is the thing. At that point, the body had already been placed in that trash can outside. The welfare check happened. Officers were there, and Spring Weems was already gone. It was not until later that evening, when everything came undone. A neighbor, a woman who lived nearby, she noticed something happening outside the house. 2 teenagers, fighting, getting loud, physical. It was enough to grab her attention, and she went outside to intervene. She tried to break them up, and that is when one of them spoke. Jordan looked at this neighbor, this woman who had nothing to do with any of this, and he told her he had just killed his mom. Like that was just something you say out loud to a stranger. No emotion behind it, no tears.
We have some questions from the chat. Hold on. Jana, how old were the boys when they were adopted? I read very young. I don't know if that means infant. I don't know if it means 2. I don't know if it means under 5. But when they say very young, I'm going to say, yeah, very young. Just Me said, wait, the father didn't come? Yes. When A.W. called and said something was wrong with T.W., Levi came over to talk and find out what was going on and where Spring really was, because he knew Spring was not with their oldest child. But yes, in the court documents, Levi did come to the house, and he stayed with them until the police were there.
Here's just the confession, handed over like it was the most normal thing in the world. Moving on, the neighbor called 911. That call is what brought deputies back to that address. And when they arrived, Jordan told them exactly where to find his mother. He said the body was in the trash can outside the home. They looked, and there she was, Spring Weems, inside a trash can. On her own property, 49 years old, the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation took over from there. They moved fast. Jordan was taken into custody that same night. And when agents sat down with him, he did not deny it. He admitted to killing Spring. He told them he used a hammer. He told them where the body was.
He is a sociopath. He wasn't made that way. Through tough love and accountability and rules and no rewards for bad behavior. He was born that way. That is my advice for today. Okay? And I didn't even have to Google that.
Confession was already out there. He had given it to a neighbor, and now he was giving it to investigators. Neighbors in the area began turning over security camera footage to state investigators. Footage that could help piece together the full timeline of what happened that day. The investigation was moving, evidence was being collected, and Jordan Weems was not going anywhere. It is what it is. The evidence was right there. The confession was right there. A mother was dead, and her son was the one who did it.
Well, Kevin, Heather, there are still a lot of unanswered questions surrounding this case, but we do know that the son that is in custody is her adopted son, and the victim's name is Spring Weems.
I'm a little surprised because, you see, Oklahoma is not exactly what I would call detail-oriented unless you're talking about someone's car or garden. And so the fact they keep saying this is a son she adopted, this is a son her and Levi adopted before they split up 8 years ago. So you can do the math on that. Let's say they adopted him at 8. He's 16 now. I don't think they broke up right when they adopted him. That doesn't make any sense to me because all of the children consider Levi dad. And some, I believe, are their children together, but, but they keep bringing up he's the adoptive son. And I'm like, but that's not a defense. You know what I mean? That's not a defense for murder. I know a lot of things are going to be brought up. They're going to be talking about child abuse, harsh punishments. It's not over till it's over. Either way, what this woman went through is horrible. I want to know what these doctors that had him hospitalized for his tendencies, one is an unaliving tendency, one was a homicidal tendency. I want to know exactly what they put him on, and I want to know what they advised Spring and Levi of. Because if it's as bad as it looks, and it is, because she got killed by her own son with a hammer, I almost wonder if it wasn't something where it was suggested, no, he needs to be here for a long time.
This is an incredibly sad story. You're talking about a woman who lost her life in just a brutal way.
The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation is trying to piece together what happened to a mother who was murdered and her body dumped in a trash can outside of her home in Logan County.
What we have so far is what I had described last night, is that the woman did sustain injuries that are consistent with homicide at this time.
OSBI said the woman is 49-year-old Spring Weems. She was found by Logan County deputies after someone called 911 reporting 2 boys fighting outside the home.
As soon as we arrived, there was a statement made that the body was going to be in a trash can outside of the home.
The woman's adopted son was arrested on complaint.
Could you imagine being told that? The undersheriff, when we arrived, we were told she was going to be in the trash can outside. I still want to know what kind of strength he has, because we're talking about dead weight. There has to be a lot of blood. There has to be splatters and everything. So from the time of death to when Jordan, and I guarantee he got TW to help him, struggled to get her into that trash can and roll her out there for trash collection. And to be quite honest, I'm not sure if the trash collectors would even know what was in there, because they said it was unrecognizable. I say it, as even a human body. We're talking, death wasn't enough. Jordan kept on and kept on and kept on and kept on and kept on. Somebody had to clean something. It will all come out. And if you guys want to continue following this, you let me know. If it's too gruesome for you, then I'll just update here and there.
Complaints of first-degree murder. Neighbors tell News 4 the teen is a freshman in high school.
We're still looking into the exact motive, why this occurred.
I spoke with the neighbor who made the call to 911. She did not want to go on camera, but she says she saw police there earlier that day for a welfare check because the woman was missing. She says 30 minutes later, two teenagers were outside fighting. When she ran over to break them up, she says one of them told her, "He just killed my mom."
We're going to go through the normal protocols of finding a safe place for that teen at this time. The teenager who we arrested was booked into a juvenile facility in Canadian County.
Jordan Weems was arrested. That same night, he was found outside, fighting with another teenager, 16 years old, booked into a juvenile facility in Canadian County. First-degree murder. That is what he was charged with. But here is where the legal side of this story takes a turn that a lot of people did not expect. Jordan was not going to be tried as a juvenile. The decision was made to try him as an adult, a 16-year-old boy sitting in an...
Shut up. Shut up. A 16-year-old boy will be tried as an adult. Does anyone have an issue with this? That they are trying him as an adult. Yes, he's a freshman in high school. Yes, he was adopted. As if that makes him less culpable. Yes, he was in trouble at home. Yes, he's been hospitalized. I don't really have a problem with him being charged as an adult. Jana said no. Jana have no. Sunflower has no issue. No issue. No. Not Sunflower.
In Canadian County. First-degree murder. That is what he was charged with. But here is where the legal side of this story takes a turn that a lot of people did not expect. Jordan was not going to be tried as a juvenile. The decision was made to try him as an adult, a 16-year-old boy sitting in an adult courtroom, facing charges that carry life in prison without the possibility of parole. Now, court documents in this case revealed something that adds another layer to everything Spring was going through before her death. She was not just disciplining Jordan out of frustration. She was genuinely worried about him. Worried that if he kept running from the law, kept sneaking out, kept pushing boundaries the way he was going to end up behind bars, for real. The orange jumpsuit, the bland meals, all of it. That was fear talking. Mother's fear. And the court documents also confirmed what we already knew from the siblings. Jordan had told them he was going to kill Spring. That threat was documented. It was part of the...
Hold on. Cinnamon hot. Said, I know this old lady in Applegate, Oregon. Her and her son adopted a kid. Her and her son adopted a child together? And at 16, when they had taken his guitar as punishment, he entered their bedroom in the night and shot guns at the father. Whoa. Okay. Immediately got punked out in prison. Whoa, okay. Well, you know, sometimes there's such a thing in life called natural selection, and I don't go for it. I don't advise anyone try it, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over murderers. No, having a little issue with their buddies in jail. Just not going to think about it. My brain wasn't equipped for that.
He knew from the siblings. Jordan had told them he was going to kill Spring. That threat was documented. It was part of the record. It was not something that was whispered around the house and forgotten. It was spoken, and it was noted. And Spring Weems still lost her life. Jordan Weems has a public defender representing him. The case is moving forward through the courts, and as of right now, he is facing life in prison without parole for the murder of his mother. Damn. A teenager. In an adult courtroom. Looking down a life sentence.
Stop with that. Damn, a teenager. He's not a teenager anymore. Now, if he was 8, I'd say, ooh, we got something else going on. 16. Your brain is pretty formed at that time. You definitely know. And when he was hospitalized, I don't even know how many times, he definitely had some therapy in there. He knew right from wrong. He knew because he got in trouble that ambushing his mama with an S-wing hammer is not cool. Do you know what those hammers will do to you? You have any idea? You have any idea? We're not talking about some little tack hammer from the Dollar Tree. But exactly like Sunflower said, he decided to do an adult thing, then you pay the adult price. Well, he's going to. I mean, I have no issue with this woman's commentary and the way she put everything together. I do have an issue that she seems a little too sympathetic to me. I could be wrong. And it's from Shadowed Crimes. I got to give credit where credit's due. Because, I would rather talk to you guys than do shit like this.
In prison without parole for the murder of his mother. Damn. A teenager. In an adult courtroom. Looking down a life sentence for killing the woman who chose to raise him. How did we get here? Spring Weems was not a perfect mother. No mother is, but she was trying. She was scared for her son, and she did what she thought would shake him into seeing the reality of the path he was on. She loved him enough to be uncomfortable. She loved him enough to try something bold, and that love did not protect her. The children in that house lost their mother. The siblings who noticed something was wrong, who reached out to their father, who pushed for answers. They are the ones who helped uncover what Jordan did. They were kids too. Kids who had to carry something no child should ever have to carry. And Jordan, he sits in a system now that will decide the rest of his life.
By the time he gets to trial, he'll be 18. Serious as a heart attack. By the time he gets there, he'll be 18, probably pushing 19. The way these lazy bastards are around here. And they're going to say, at this point, we could go for the death penalty. The public defender won't even tell him that technically they can't, because he's not going to give a shit. He already knows how bad this is, or she. I don't know. It speaks volumes that nobody is ponying up to get him a private attorney. Can't say that I blame them. So he's going to wind up getting life and maybe parole in 60 years, considering he was 16. Knowing that county and things that they would go for, I have a feeling it's going to be life, no parole. See ya. Bye-bye.
16 years old. The weight of what he did is not going anywhere. It will follow him into every courtroom, every hearing, every single day from this point forward. This case is a reminder that the signs are not always loud. Sometimes a threat is spoken plainly, and it still does not get acted on fast enough. Sometimes a mother's fear for her child is the last thing she ever feels, and sometimes...
Ooh, we got some victim blaming. Ick. Sensing some victim blaming. I'm sure that she thought she was doing the right thing by getting him to the doctor, by getting him hospitalized. And I'm sure she thought she was doing the right thing by taking all his shit and locking it in her room and making him wear an orange jumpsuit and wait like every, 7 hours to get fed. Okay? This lies on Jordan, who is now technically an adult.
Sometimes a mother's fear for her child is the last thing she ever feels. And sometimes the person you are trying to save is the very person who ends your life. Spring Weems deserved better. Her children deserved better. And if this story taught us anything, it is that when someone says they are going to do something this serious, you believe them. You act on it. Because when it is too late, there is no going back. Let me tell you something. Cases like this do not just end in a courtroom. They stay with the families, they stay in the community, and they stay with anyone who hears the story and thinks about what could have been done differently. But nothing changes what happened in Logan County. Nothing brings Spring Weems back. If this story hit you the way it hit me, make sure you are subscribed.
It is horrible. And I agree with B. Hurley, a thug. And you can't really, I would say you can't really be a thug at 16. But he figured out a way to do it. And I say you want that thug life and you want to go against societal laws, then you're going to live the thug life in jail. And I can tell you right now, that little thug is scared shitless right now. And I agree with Jana. He does look a lot like Richard Ramirez. Whoa. He truly does. Now, I wouldn't have said it to him if he was holding a hammer, but yeah, he does. And it is a horrible, horrible story. Susan says it scares me. It is scary. He has no empathy. He has no feelings. I mean, he spoke to them as if he was just talking about he had a bowl of cereal. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Well, she put me in that jumpsuit and she made me stay in my room. Oh, okay. All right. So, I couldn't even imagine the body cam when they're talking to him in the interrogation room with a guardian ad litem, because they have to, because he is underage. And as he's sitting there saying, yeah. And the premeditation, since he's an adult now, has got to be added on there. They probably won't, for lots of reasons, because premeditation is basically an accelerator for the death penalty. And I don't think they could get that in Oklahoma because he is 16. Either way, he wouldn't see it till he was like 36. Takes a long time. I do think with the premeditation, I think he did a lot of beep, 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 boop, 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 and thought at the age of 16 he would get away with this. He might have thought, I'll just spend a couple of years in juvie, see a couple more of these therapists, shit my way through it like I'm Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting, and I'll be out at 18. I don't think he was expecting this. I don't think he was expecting the word adult. You are being charged as an adult. Woo! Well, you all, I will keep you up to date on this. And you know what? Anytime you all get a chance, please leave me a comment, hit the like, and when you also think about it, you could go through some of your favorite videos in my catalog and hit the hype. Yes, it helps more than you know. All right, I'll keep you guys up to date on this, and I will see you over in Discord, one of the Facebook groups, or if I miss you there, I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We have another case we're going to be talking about. Y'all are the best. Love ya.